Hey guys, it's Mr. Katz. Next up in our Audible blog series is called Excuse Me, Aren't You the One That Asked Me for a Favor? The word favor has multiple meanings. It means approval, support, or liking for someone or something. More commonly, it means an act of kindness beyond what is due or usual. It is this second definition that I think trips people up the most, at least in terms of etiquette. The very foundation of granting a favor implies that the bearer, the favor giver, is doing something that the receiver, the one who requested the favor, really needs and expects nothing in return. It is an act in my mind that has the potential to exhibit altruism in its truest form. This sounds fantastic, right? Nothing further is, oh, the need is met, everybody goes their separate ways, better than they were before, right? What is hoped for, however, is that while no objectively tangible exchange has to occur in the opposite direction, an expression of gratitude toward the bearer would be most welcome if not expected. That's just common. That's just etiquette. Emily Post all the way. Now, what is not expected is complaints and criticisms about how the favor was executed, complete with a side of advice on how it could have been done better. Altruism aside, all humans like to know that they're appreciated. It's in our nature. But still, lack of gratitude in most cases can be forgiven since most of us do not do favors just for thanks or praise. However, rudeness, corrections, and nagging tend to tip most of us over the edge no matter how good we feel about doing the favor in the first place. It's only natural. So I have to say that I'm fortunate this doesn't happen to me very often. However, when it does, I don't always take it well. My feathers get ruffled and I find myself questioning why in the hell the person asked me for help in the first place. Interestingly, it seems to happen with the favors that have required the most planning, effort, and time. How ironic, right? The good deeds that require the most time often get the most criticism. Is it because the increasing complexity of the favor is proportionate to the amount of potential complaints regarding mistakes involved in its completion? Well, it's a terrible disincentive and a fine how do you do at that. Actually, I don't think that's it. I think that the increasing complexity of the favor probably brings inherent increased pre-existing frustration on the part of the requester. This makes sense. People aren't inclined to ask for help unless they're unable to or too frustrated to complete a task themselves after trying multiple times, right? So therefore, the person granting the favor often becomes the target of all that misguided frustration. I'm not implying that it is appropriate or okay. That behavior should not be condoned. However, I am not sure that it's completely avoidable either. It's just one of the risks of doing a favor. I don't truly believe that people are walking around looking to trick someone into helping them just so they can lash out and make sure that they never help them again. I mean, that would be pointless, right? Human beings are kind of cray at times, but hopefully not that cray. There is still another potential scenario of inherent risk to doing favors. I like to call this one the unquenchable thirst. This refers to the recipient that cannot get enough of asking favors, the person that keeps asking for more and more, the one that's never satisfied. You bring them a casserole one time when they're going through a rough patch, and suddenly you're supposed to cook for them every night. You know the situation. It's insidious. It creeps up on you slowly, and before you know it, you have no time for yourself anymore because you're busy running ragged for another person. You start out feeling all warm and fuzzy and needed, and then slowly the feeling modulates to being trapped, tied down, and resentful, as if you're on a runaway train and cannot get off. Yes, this is a tricky situation. The onus is completely on you to disentangle yourself from that one. Nobody's going to help you. So I'm realizing that sounds pretty bleak, doesn't it? I mean, it sounds like all favors have the potential to backfire. I mean, this is an undeniable truth, but I don't let that stop me. Are my outcome ratios all favorable? No. I've slowly and painfully learned that I need to be a little more selective in my process. I tread that fine line between good Samaritan and doormat every day. Sometimes I end up with tracks in my face, sometimes I don't. But when the outcomes are good, they are worth every bit of effort it took to get them. So just keep that in mind. Still keep doing favors, be selective, and have a fantastic day.